Hey everybody, Dr. Colleen Sierra here. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and the founder and executive director of Sierra Center for Behavioral Health. Wanted to come on today to tell you a story about 2 different days of my week. So on Monday, I woke up and, I'd had a weekend. Weekends are somewhat refreshing. I'm still trying to entertain and parent 2 children in quarantine, but weekends are still, I don't have to work. I get to just focus on my kids. So weekends are usually somewhat refreshing. And I woke up Monday morning not feeling refreshed at all and just really not motivated to do what I needed to do, not motivated to work, which is an unusual feeling for me. And so I did something radical for me and I took the day off. I never do that. The work ethic that I have been taught was that you work. You work when you're sick, and if you're sick, you get sent home from work. You work when you're tired. If you have to work, you go to work. So I don't take a lot of time off, but I did on Monday. And what I'm trying to do is figure out how to appreciate the work ethic that I've been taught and that I have, and balance that with how do I take care of myself, because I'm not very good at taking care of myself. So Monday was kind of a radical act of self-love for me. Now, granted, it wound up being about 3 hours. I only had childcare for 3 hours. And after that, I had to mommy. So it was 3 hours, but it was glorious. It was a beautiful day. I sat outside. I looked at Pinterest. I made some purchases for our home to make our home look more lovely and beautiful, which is something that makes me happy. I had coffee alone in silence. It was glorious. So that was Monday. Fast forward to Wednesday, where we lost our childcare. Our daycare provides us a teacher because I'm an essential worker. Therapists are essential workers, fun fact. So we've had a teacher this last 2 weeks, and someone in her family came down with COVID. So now she's been exposed. We are potentially exposed. So we don't have a teacher at childcare for the next 2 weeks while both my husband and I are working more than ever. So I was terrified about the day yesterday. But you know what? I did it all. I mommied all day. I prepared snacks and lunches. I mediated arguments. I cooked dinner. I did laundry. I mommied all day, despite also having meetings all day with my team that often include interruptions, because I was also the teacher yesterday, helping my son with e-learning, trying to entertain my daughter to stop her from harassing my son while he was doing his work, explaining, reading to him, helping him do reading comprehension. I was also the teacher and the mommy. I was also the boss yesterday, and sealed the deal with Amazon so that Sierra Center for Behavioral Health can now be in the Dear Doc program, which I'll talk more about later. But that was a long, stressful, lengthy process, and I got that done yesterday. So I did all the things yesterday. And you know what? I felt like a badass on both days. I felt like a badass on Monday when I laid around and took the day off and had 3 hours to myself and did nothing for 3 hours. And I felt like a badass on Wednesday too. Very different days, right? So why did both days make me feel like a badass? Specifically, probably you're wondering, why did Monday make me feel like a badass? Because I just did nothing, which was great. Here's why. I think we get this idea in our head that happiness or success or doing a good job or whatever it is has to look like whatever. It has to look like being productive, or it looks like being really happy, or we set ourselves up to perceive ourselves as miserable failures because we put all of these stipulations and expectations around what does it mean to have a good day, or what does it mean to feel good about myself. And we just really need to blow that up and get rid of this idea that we need to get through our whole to-do list or not cry in order to be strong, or whatever these old, antiquated, dumb, frankly, ideas are that we all have about what it means to be a happy person or to have a good day. Because the fact of the matter is, being a badass can look a whole lot of different ways. On Monday, it looked like me listening to my body for once and giving myself what I needed, which I never allow myself to do. That is a radical act of self-love, and that's awesome because it means that all of the work that I've been putting in to becoming a more evolved, healed person is working. That's fucking cool, right? Wednesday, yeah, I did a lot of stuff, and that is really pretty cool. But I'm no different than a million other moms around the world, right? What really felt so badass to me about Wednesday is I was anxious and overwhelmed. I cried multiple times throughout the day. I yelled at my kids once. It wasn't perfect, but I kept feeling my feelings and just putting the next foot forward, just continued on with my day. So I let myself cry. I let myself be angry. I let myself feel overwhelmed. And I just let it happen. And then it was like, okay, I feel better now. Back at it. And that's what felt so badass about Wednesday. So how can you expand your definition of what it means to be a badass or what it means to have a good day? And perhaps it's listening to your feelings or feeling your feelings, or you trying a new coping skill, or letting yourself break down and cry and feeling the relief that comes with that, or letting yourself take a few hours or a day off. Let's work on expanding our definition of what it means to be a badass, because you know what? I am a badass, and you are too. And I just thought somebody out there maybe needed to hear that message today. Something to think about.